You know how a lot of business owners nowadays are often frustrated whenever it comes to trying to achieve a goal. So what they do is they have an image of their mind about what the goal they desire is. They work backwards from the goal to try to figure out what they have to do on a monthly, daily thing to be able to achieve the goal that they desire. And after they started implementing the plan, they found out that what they're doing isn't getting the results that they have desire to have. And this could be for they don't have enough wisdom, skill, understanding in that specific method they're using to achieve the goal, or they don't have the resources that they need right now in order to achieve the level of goal that they set for themselves. From that, they start looking for other people, methods, and tools to help them get there. Well, over the past couple of years, I've studied a couple of books on time management, goal setting, the philosophy you have to have in order to achieve the goals that you desire. Some of them are Organize Tomorrow Today, the Zig Ziglar Goals book, the 12-week year book. I've studied the same let's see, how many did I actually study? I studied Science of Getting Rich. I studied Think and Grow Rich, Bob Proctor's material, his seminars. Using all that, at 21 years old, I was able to accomplish some of the goals I had with cold calling and business and getting my first clients and the responses that I wanted my clients to have whenever we render service for them. So in this video is a compilation of every single thing that I've studied and learned to actually achieve goals in the right mindset. And I put it into a simple framework in the video that's very easy to implement. And I'm going to use an example of a business owner that wants consistent quality leads in their business. So let's get into it. So step one would be solidifying the goal. Write down what your life looks like after you already achieved what you're hoping to achieve. How you feel, how you act, how you operate differently, what you do on a day-to-day basis. This is very important. However, I do not have time to go into why it's important. I just got this information from these sources: Bob Proctor, Napoleon Hill, Wallace Wattles, and Dr. Waltz. If you have any more questions or want to know any more information about the image of the mind, psychologically, why it's the most important thing any human on the planet could do, I suggest reading their material or asking ChatGPT with the credit from these 4 people, why is making a goal in the mind and reaching it in your mind important? And then it'll give you a whole reason based on what they say on why it's important. Number 2 is attach a why to the goal. So if you are a print shop that wants consistent inbound leads, why do you want that? Well, it'll make me have more money. It'll help me have more peace of mind. I will always know where the next job is going to come from. Why does that matter to you personally? Because I can have more free time to hire and delegate people to do certain tasks, so I can free up my time from working in the business and start working on it so I can scale it the way I want to. Let's ask the question again. Why does it matter to you personally? Okay, well, then I could pay for my kids' college. I could buy this home. I could live this way. I could be financially free. I could have a business that takes care of my children's children. That's an asset that produces cash flow forever. It just went from have consistent leads year round to have an asset that produces cash flow decades down the line. That's probably more valuable than having inbound leads. The reason why that's important is because whenever you have that why, that desire and goal of you having that image in your mind on what that would look like, outweighs the uncomfortableness of the day-to-day activities that you have to do in order to reach that goal. That's why it's important. Again, you can go look at Bob Proctor's, Wallace Wattles, Napoleon Hill, Dr. Waltz stuff to get more information about that. Step number 3 is you work backwards from the goal. So if you have a goal to get consistent inbound leads, what do I have to do to get the thing? It could be prospecting, content, hiring a marketing agency, doing your own local marketing, getting the skills and wisdom and knowledge on how to do it yourself, whatever it might be. I could, on my free time, study how to do SEO myself, how to get reviews myself. Whatever the method you do, doesn't matter. What matters is if you're resourceful to find a method to make it work for yourself. Or if you want to focus on more important things, do some research on how to actually hire a marketing company that knows what they're doing, so whenever you do invest money, you get the result you were hoping for. Step number 4 is identify the monthly and daily activities that you have to do. This is direct application for anybody that's watching this video. I've personally used Zig Ziglar's goal sheet exercise. It took me a couple hours to finish the whole thing. However, every single task and thing that I focus my mind on, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, 1,000 billion%, that it is helping me get closer to my goal. So I'm no longer wondering and wavering in my belief on if what I'm doing is going to get me to where I want to go. Every single thing that I'm doing, I know for a fact is going to get me there because of the Zig Ziglar goal exercise. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you some free resources that are going to be linked in the description to where you can download the PDFs and do the work yourself. There's this other thing called the OTT Exercise Sheet. So you know how up earlier whenever I was talking about like Organize Tomorrow Today, that book that I read and studied, there's this principle in there. There's this exercise, it's called Organize Tomorrow Today Sheet. And essentially what you do is you pick your 3 most important tasks that you have to do the following day and write them down. The most important tasks are defined as tasks that will actually move the needle to get it done. So let's say if you have to respond to emails, that's not an important task compared to making content, making prospecting calls, getting these quotes out ready, because those are income producing activities to get you closer to your goal. Make sense? I've been doing the OTT exercise every single day for the past year, and it has dramatically increased my performance. That's why I'm able to make a long form video every single week and produce micro content every single day for my own personal brand, do it for 2 other clients' brand, and work a full-time job and study, because I'm only focusing on the most important activities that move the needle closer to the goal. So, highly suggest you do that. Now, this is more specific. If you are a print shop owner that desires to have consistent quality leads in your business, here's exactly what this looks like for you. There's 2 methods and you choose one of them. You can either do it yourself or hire someone to do it for you. Method 1 is prospecting. I have mastered both of these methods and I have been highly successful in both of them. With prospecting, you define your highest quality customers. So what would that look like? In the print shop industry, it's usually truck wraps, fleet graphics, wrapping like actual semi trucks, because those produce the most money. Those are the most high profitable jobs. Let's say if those are your ideal customers. So what you're gonna do is make a list of companies that you think are in the market or purchasing vehicle graphics in those 3 areas: tractor trailers, fleet graphics, or just trucks. Then you're gonna start making prospecting calls to them, seeing if they need help in that area. Your highest quality customer is going to be the person that pays you the most money, but most importantly, the person who can get the best results from the service you're rendering for them. So whenever I pick my ideal customer, I look at who can get the best result from my service that I deliver to them. And that's why I make my prospecting calls whenever I did do cold calls. These are the 2 people that I learned from that made me successful. You got Jeremy Miner, he's the sales skill guy, he's insane. And then you got Jeb Blount. All I'm saying is study Jeremy Miner and Jeb Blount. All right, this is method number 2, which is social media content. So you're gonna post 3 times a week. It could be before, it could be in the process, or it could be after the service that you're delivering for the client. It could be industry news. It could be, some helpful tips here and there. It could be educating people on how to make an informed buying decision in your industry so they don't get ripped off. Whatever adds value to your ideal customers is what you post on the internet. Because what that does is it positions you as the authority in your local area. So fundamentally, you're gonna post content 3 times a week. You're going to get reviews consistently, at least 2 a week, depending on how many clients you're getting. And then number 3 is optimizing your Google business profile and your website. Now, we did those 3 things for this one company, and he went from 3 calls a month to 15 calls a month. So it's very simple things that you just have to implement in your business to immediately increase the amount of calls and inquiries you get. When you're operating from the image of what you already have, of what you already desire, you start to do your day-to-day activities from a place of peace and harmony. So you're not operating from a place of desperation and like a huge desire and lack to achieve the goal. You're peaceful, calm, collected in your mind and outwardly, and you're just focusing on the day-to-day activities that you have to do, the most important activities that you have to do, and evaluating yourself based on effort, not outcomes. That is how you achieve goals. Hope this helped. Thanks for watching.